Well, thanks so much for tuning into this conversation with BEL. As much as I thought that we'll do an earnings conversation, I think it will be pertinent now that we have Miss Anandi Ramalingam, who is the Chairman and Managing Director of BEL. Now that we have her, we'll talk to her more about how does she see the plan of the defense indigenization and BEL's role within it, and what could be the way ahead. Ms. Ramalingam, great having you. I hope all is well.
Yeah, all is fine. Thank you so much.
Can I first start off with the quarter, Ms. Ramalingam? Sorry, can I just start off with the quarter first and then I'll move on to the macro picture?
Sure.
The Q1, according to my estimates, were an all-time, all-round beat. EBITDA was much higher than estimated. The only pickle was probably that the order book growth was not as strong as the street was anticipating. Can you put that into perspective?
See, generally, if you see, the order intake in the first quarter is around the same range only. Last year, we could clock a little more, maybe because of the EVM and VVPAT orders which we got from the Election Commission of India. But otherwise, it is generally in this range. It actually, because the defense also, if you see the procurement process, they also take some time to formulate the schemes and then place and get the budget sanction and then start placing the order. So if you see, all of them are skewed toward the third and the fourth quarter. So it is generally like that. So this year also, notwithstanding the first quarter order equation, we are very confident of achieving about 20,000 crores of order intake in the current financial year also. So we that is absolutely sure. I mean, the minimum is 20,000 and we are aiming at little higher also. But 20,000 crore is a very comfortable figure which we are aiming at.
Got it. Ms. Ramalingam, what about execution? I mean, one is, of course, the internal capabilities, but two is this whole issue surrounding semiconductor shortages, the input cost escalation. How is that piece shaping up?
As far as semiconductor crisis is there, yes, it is still there, but of course to a lesser extent, because as you may be knowing, last year we about 2,600 crores of our turnover got affected because of the non-availability of some of the chips which we were to get as committed by the OEMs. But those supplies have now started. In fact, in the first quarter, we could liquidate about 800 and odd crores from that 2,600, in addition to whatever we did. And the OEMs have now started giving a commitment. Of course, it is a delayed commitment, but at least the commitments have started coming in, which was not there since last quarter of last year. So hopefully things will improve. Maybe another 6 months it should come in line. And as far as the input costs are concerned, yes, input costs are slightly going up. But then we are also trying to see if somewhere we try to do some other way of reducing the cost, maybe by doing some indigenization, by alternate sourcing, by trying to, because this is the time when government is also willing to take up the challenge of inducting some indigenous products or subsystems also. So we are trying to see. So with a mix of all this, we are hoping that the input cost increase will not have much impact on our profitability for the current year. Of course, in future we'll have to see. But because whatever contracts we concluded with the ministry is of course firm and fixed contract, and of course we can represent to them if there is a huge increase. But it has not been so much, but there is an increase. Yeah. Of course, when you want it on a faster delivery timeline, then you have to pay a little more. Yes.
Got it. But these must be unprecedented times. Every corporate tells me the same on the input cost front. Do you reckon this will last, Ms. Ramalingam, or do you think this will be short-lived?
I think it will last. The way it is going on, I think it is going to last. Because basically whatever has happened in the last 2 years, everything has got piled up and shifted. There is a huge supply-demand problem. So it is going to, I think, only increase further. Maybe after 1 or 2 years, it may stabilize.
Got it. Now, questions on the indigenization and the defense versus non-defense as well. The government seems to be in overdrive. Actually, governments all over the world seem to be on overdrive on indigenization. How does that fit in for a company like BEL? Would it mean faster growth for the first 2, 3, 4 years and then stable growth? Or do you reckon it will be a stable period of long-term sustainable growth for Indian defense sector and for BEL?
Yeah, as you rightly said, all countries have started looking inwards, and of course our country also has started doing so. And you will be aware that many of the Buy Global cases have now been turned down by the ministry. They have told the services that you cannot go in for a direct import. You either get the technology and get it done through a local industry. So, and then a lot of emphasis is there on indigenization, not only at the component level, subsystem level, but at the system level also. As you know, the government has set up a separate fund for funding the Indian industries to take up the development of systems and subsystems. Similarly, they have asked DPSUs also to see if industries can be collaborated and pitched in to develop at least a subsystem, if not a complete system. So a lot of focus is there on indigenization. In fact, they have given us targets, and we are also closely following. We also see a lot of benefit in that. So this because all along, even though we wanted to indigenize, it would have so happened that because the equipment has got a trial evaluated, the services will be very reluctant, and somehow the scheme was not fitting in. So everything used to get delayed, and we also had no incentive of doing it. Now we feel, because there is of course a lot of cost reduction happening because of indigenization, and the government support is also there, the overall ecosystem is available. So we are also pursuing this, and in fact at a director level this is being pursued, and all the SBUs have been given some responsibilities on what is to be indigenized at what time frame, and how it is to be done. So we are taking the help of industries also in many of the cases, and we are, till now it has been quite a good success, and I'm sure it will continue. So in fact last year through indigenization I think around 600 crores we could save.
Wow.
So now, yeah. So I'm very sure. So this is another aspect, because of the, the input cost, whatever we said is slightly increasing, will not get offset because of this.
Got it, ma'am. So there are two-pronged benefit, right? Your input costs go down and it helps your margins. And at the same time, since the country is indigenizing, maybe more order flow comes your way.
Yes. It will, more orders will come our way, and this is going to last for long. See, once the government starts seeing the benefit in having an indigenous source, they will never go back. Even till now, whatever we have been doing, we were never told that you compete with a foreigner or something like that. Whatever was available, they used to take it. So this will lead to a sustained growth. Not that it will happen only for the first 3-4 years. It will be there forever, I think. And it's a good thing, a good initiative which the government has taken, and I'm sure it will help us.
Great. Ms. Ramalingam, so when I look at analyst notes, everybody anticipates that not just the FY23 guidance of that 15% YY growth with 21-23% margin, but this could be a multi-year process of that 15 to 17% growth, 20 to 25% or 20 to 23% EBITDA margins for a number of years. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah, it's a very fair assessment. As I told you, we are also seeing that the order position is likely to improve drastically in the years to come. See, in the next years, there are the major missile programs of QRSAM and MRSAM coming in. So with that, once those are all very big ticket items, each of them around 15,000 to 20,000 crores. So when those orders come into our kitty, then we'll have to, in fact, ensure that we execute it on time. And that automatically that will result to a growth in our turnover. And this will continue, because following that also there are a lot of other projects which we have already started the development work, or already some discussions have been happening with our various customers. So this will surely go up. It's a very fair assessment which they have done, and I'm confident that the company will be able to do that.
So is that conservative, Ms. Ramalingam? Because if more big ticket items are coming in, I'm guessing BEL would want to expand capacities as well. So maybe the growth could improve in the years ahead.
Yeah, growth will improve. That's why I said initially this year it will be 15 to 17, then 17 to 19. See, on a major, if the base also increases, no?
Of course.
So to that extent, yeah. But it will grow. It will continue to grow. There's no doubt about it.
Got it. My final question, Mr. Ramalingam, because I'll have to let you go after this.
Sure.
But my final question is, you are also present in a small way, 10-12% in non-defense. And while defense seems to be the central driver, as I read about your commentary, you are saying that non-defense will actually increase in proportion. Now, is that because non-defense is growing faster? And do you expect it to touch 15-17% in the next 2-3 years of the total revenue?
Yeah, see, there were two drivers for this. One is, of course, we thought that if we have to maintain that growth, whatever we have been projecting, just with defense, it may not be enough. The defense, what happens is sometimes the programs come in all together. Sometimes there's a lull also. So to have a stable growth, it is the civilian market which really is very lucrative. And as you rightly told, the civilian market also is developing very fast now, because the same the target of indigenization has been given to all segments of the this thing. It's not only for defense, but it's for every other industry also. So if you see the railways, metros and all, which they never thought of indigenizing earlier, now they themselves are calling us and asking us whether we could indigenize their communication system, we could indigenize their driver electric drives, and so on and so forth. So we have taken up a lot of projects with DMRC. So we feel that that will also be growing, and it will add to our turnover. So wherever, if it not just as a filler, but then we also would be a force to reckon with, not only in defense, but also in civilian segment.
Got it.
And a lot of effort is not required, because it's just a little bit of customization of what we have already been doing for defense. So it's not that we need to invest a lot in R&D for non-defense. So that is another attractive proposition for us.
Okay. One last question, ma'am. What are the risks to this rather optimistic outlook, if you will? What are the risks to this?
So the risk, of course, will be the availability of input material on time. See, because supply chain issues is not only there for semiconductors, but also for umpteen other things which we are getting either from some of the European countries. So that supply chain is a major issue. And of course, execution to some extent, but then execution, we are all now geared up. We hope that we have overcome that phase. A lot of investments have happened. The infrastructure is also now updated and kept ready. So I don't think other than this, there will be any other risk. So only supply chain issues. And with that, I think we should sail through without any problem.
Well, it's a proud moment for all of us as well to see Indian companies doing so well on such a critical piece. And you're leading one of the premier companies. So all the best, Mr. Ramalingam, and thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Likewise, ma'am. And viewers, thanks for tuning in.